No matter what a book tells us to do, what we have to do on the Dragon's Path, no matter what the book tells us, in reality, it's something totally different. You can see it in theory, but not how it is in real life. Because last night, for example, I did a quite an intense ritual for the dragon, and I already did this ritual, but it's just a reminder for my dragon that I love the dragon very much. Um, but once I did that, later on, I summoned actually the energies of the dragon very much, and so the dragon remained with me. I removed the veil for not 100%, but the most of it, so I could feel the dragon very much. And you have to know something about these rituals that I do. I never use a ritual that is used in a book, or I never asked for anyone for advice or help, because for 7 years I didn't know what to do. So I was guided by my own desire and my own instincts, and so I did a lot of rituals like that, just on instinct. And those were the best ones. And the last one that I did was actually for the so many times that I did this. But every time that I do this, it's like wow. And the dragon was so close to me, touched me once more. So that the day after, I have so much energy, and everything was opened up again. My senses, so I could feel the dragon very well. I know there are a lot of people who ask themselves how to do things, but this is actually how to do this, being instructed by your own intuition, own instincts. But that doesn't mean that you just can do whatever you want. I mean, there is something on the dragon's path also. There is I'm sorry for the wind, especially in the beginning, that I'm a guy that was actually very obsessed about the dragon. You have to know this, and so I did a lot of things. As- Now, actually, I'm doing rituals in this tiny forest, and there is so much energy just centered in one place. Here, I mean, oh my goodness, and yeah. Um, but that doesn't mean that I didn't had to have discipline, and that is what can be compared to the draconian path. The draconian path requires a lot of discipline, and also on the draconic path, you should have a bit of discipline. And what does this involve? I mean, when I was traveling through the gates, when I was traveling through to become closer to the dragon, in my visions, in my mind, I always had to remember that I shouldn't be distracted, because that is actually a very dangerous thing to travel. And so in the void, the void that is the space between spaces actually, when you travel through all of these gates, this is not the dragon's realm, and so this is where it can also be a little bit risky. Not that you would die off, or you would lose your own soul, no, nothing like that, oh my goodness. But you have to know, Leviathan is the god of the void, and Leviathan is keeping an eye on you. There is a reason why we have a sign of the draconic eye, so it can protect you, so your dragons can be summoned, not really summoned, but be there for you to protect you. The dragon's eye is the triangle with the eye in the middle, and so it can actually protect you. As you ask your dragons to come to you so that they can guide you as well. You can be guided by your own mind, but the better thing actually is to be guided by the voices in your head that are not coming from you. You are not crazy when you hear that. You are totally not insane or something like that, but you have to know that the dragons, all of them, are trying to have contact with you, and they will ask you things, not in a human-like way, but in a telepathic way. And when you travel through of all of the void and astral plane, You are actually even traveling through the astral plane while you are standing here, while you are working. When you think about the dragon, you can do this without even noticing. But that is also can also be a very dark thing to do, because there will be risks. All of these entities, these spirits, are not dragons, and these entities can maybe want to be with you, and in that case, your dragon eye is meaning that you are standing higher. They cannot reach you. You are standing on your dragon eye, your circle of protection. But in some cases, um, you don't use your dragon eye, or maybe um, they can reach you. They can be also very strong. I mean, the beings that live there are very strong beings, and maybe they just want to reach for you. I have, since my childhood, I remember that I was vulnerable to open gates, but gates that are. I remember the dragon very well. Very well. When I was a child, people call this an imaginary friend, but it was not imaginary. The dragon was not the only thing that I saw. I saw also other things, other beings. Um, you can call this a gift, but I called it a curse because it drove me insane. I was crying so many nights. It was not a dream, I'm sure of that. I saw things, and I also saw my dragon back in the day. But the dragon was my only friend in the world that I could see. And that is, yeah. And now the dragon touched me and so opened all of my senses, even my extra senses, so I could see these things again. And it was going away further on, but now I'm seeing these things again. It's not only the dragon that you can see on your dragon's path. There can be so many variated beings. Maybe you can remember this in dreams, or maybe visions, or maybe in the corner of your eye that you can see these shadows. Um, they actually don't want to hurt you, but you're in a place where you should be careful. Leviathan is the gatekeeper from the gates, but also the guard from the void, that can be said, and you can call upon him so that Leviathan and your guardians and your own dragon circle can protect you with this. Um, Discipline. I had a lot of discipline with this. I was not distracted. I didn't invoke another path or spirit or god. I only took eye on the dragon. I was only looking at the dragon and just following only the dragon, focusing on my own path that I had. I was not distracted by the beings on my side. Um, So yeah, it was actually, and that is also stupid to say, but it's not actually stupid. It's cliche to say that love is the thing you need, um, and this will guide you to only the dragon, and the rest will not go through it. Can't can't touch you, can't harm you, as long as you keep your mind on the dragon, and so as long as you keep your mind on him or her, the other ones won't be allowed to come through to this place. And now, as I was a child, I was distracted very easily. So that is why a lot of entities came through. But now I'm just focusing on the dragon, and the rest can just rot in hell. I don't care about them. Because these entities, of course, they can take a lot of energy and power. And that is something you need to find the dragon. These things are not worth it. I mean, there are a lot of spirits on the other side. A lot of spirits beyond the fifth and the fourth and the third and the second gate. A lot of spirits that you never even heard of. They call them demons, but I call them lost souls. In their place, you would do the same. Of course, the church is very easy there to demonize everything, of course. But yeah, you shouldn't care about them, even though they are trying to reach your attention. They are trying to do everything to touch you, to even transform inside of a fake dragon. I already had this, but the energy wasn't right, and mimicking my dragon wasn't. In the beginning, I was a dragon, but it was not mine, and so I could see that it was mimicking dragons. These things were haunting me back in the day when I was a child. But yeah, I had a lot of discipline, and maybe you should have this too. Maybe you should have this discipline to always do what the dragon says you to do. Because I know it's difficult because you have draconic energy inside of you that you are born with, but it's better to listen to the dragon and to have this discipline. Whatever they are saying to you, do it. Follow them, nothing else. Of course, you can say, mixing a path, can I mix a path? I don't recommend it, but there is something that I shouldn't do, and that is saying whatever you should do. But I recommend that you follow your eyes 100% on the dragon, so that you will be focused, disciplined, and so that you will know whatever you're doing. There is a reason why I can answer a lot of questions that I had before. That is because I was going for it 100%. And whatever the dragon was throwing at me, I was catching it. And with love and desire to catch even more. My brothers and sisters, be blessed.